The implications of Sierra Leone's decision to rebuff ECOWAS's plea for the relocation of former President Koroma to Nigeria are reverberating across the region. The ECOWAS request was primarily intended to restore peace and tranquility to a region grappling with instability on various fronts. However, the rejection has sent shockwaves through the ECOWAS secretariat as Sierra Leone, a bona fide member and signatory to its protocols, dismissed the request signed by President Omar Torre. This move is not only an affront to the Commission, but also a diplomatic challenge for Nigeria, currently holding the chairmanship position with President Bola Tinubu at the helm. The implications of Sierra Leone's rejection of the ECOWAS request are indeed far-reaching, casting a shadow over diplomatic relations and regional stability. To discuss this, I'm being joined by Imran Mohammed Sila, Media Advisor at the Ministry of Information and Civic Education. Thank you so much, Imran Sila, for talking to us at this time.
Thank you for the opportunity.
How do you interpret Sierra Leone's decision to reject ECOWAS's plea for the relocation of Koroma, who is a former president in the country, to Nigeria? And what are the broader implications of this decision for regional relations with ECOWAS?
Well, I don't think we have rejected any offers from ECOWAS. We did see a notice going out requesting the transfer of the former president to Nigeria. The government is not aware formally of such a letter being written, and if at all we did have such a letter, we would have communicated through the official government platform, which is the Ministry of Information and Civic Education. So I don't think I would want to get into those conversations. I'm aware that the president of Senegal and the Ghanaian president were in Freetown a few weeks back, immediately after the coup. And whatever the outcome was of those conversations with government, that was put out in a press release through the Ministry of Information and Civic Education, and there is nothing new to add to that. And so we cannot comment on ongoing conversations between government and ECOWAS and other partners.
Well, it's quite interesting that you are debunking the claim that Sierra Leone has refused to hand over the former president. So where is the president currently, and what is the stance of the Sierra Leonean government over where he is and the impact that he played in the government and about a few weeks back?
So we know that on the 3rd of January, we did put out a public notice at the Ministry of Information and Civic Education to inform the general public and all that the former president was in court and charges were brought to him under Section 108 of the Criminal Procedure Act of 1965. And that is what we refer to as preliminary investigations. That was being conducted at Magistrate Court number 2. By the same token, because the magistrate court didn't have the powers to grant bail, they now had to make an application at a high court for bail to be granted, and that request was granted under certain conditions. And another court date was fixed for the 17th of January this year. So as far as we know that 4 charges have been read to the former president, which includes treason, misprision of treason, and 4 counts of harboring, right? And that's the position. And there is a court date for the 17th where the state is ready to start bringing forward witnesses. At the end of the day, the preliminary investigation will be determined by this magistrate court to come to the conclusion as to whether there's sufficient evidence to now commit to a full trial at a high court.
Earlier on, you said, of course, there's a court process to check and to find out if truly the former president is culpable of the allegations leveled against him. So earlier I asked, and I said, what implication would that have, most especially the fact that, first, if he is convicted, is there a possibility that he will be sent to jail? Looking at the quality or the caliber of the person that he holds, his personality in the country, and to what implication will that have for Sierra Leone's image if that would happen?
Well, again, look, at the end of the day, I think the former president himself, when he was being requested to help the police with their investigations after the attempted coup on the 26th of November, did say that he was ready and willing to submit himself to the law and the due process, and that is what is unfolding as we speak. And so I wouldn't want to put the cart before the horse. I mean, allegations have been made for which charges have been read to him at a magistrate court. The court now have the responsibility, like I said, consistent with Section 108 of the Criminal Procedure Act, to look at the evidence before it and determine whether indeed there is sufficient information and evidence to charge him to a high court. And once it gets to a high court, the former president has a lawyer, and definitely he has more than enough representation. At the end of the day, look, I think Sierra Leone is a country of law and order, and we want every process regarding the coup on 26th of November to be free, fair, and credible. And I think that is our concern. Ultimately, I think we have a long way to go, right? And it is solely within the jurisdiction of the courts to make that determination based on the evidence before it as to whether someone is found guilty or not. But look, the former president has indicated and continues to show willingness to submit to the process. He's not alone. Others have been charged as well, and I think the process has been fair and credible as we continue to move the process forward.
All right, in as much as you may not want to talk about ECOWAS because of the sensitivity of the matter, I might just quickly go back to it and wrap it up with this. So if indeed, or finally, ECOWAS decides to formally write the Sierra Leonean government seeking the request that allegedly has been said to have been rebuffed, is there a possibility that the Sierra Leonean president would adhere or give recourse to what ECOWAS is seeking to achieve, most especially the fact that ECOWAS is looking for peace and tranquility in Sierra Leone, despite what the former president has been accused of? Do you think, of course, the Sierra Leone government will give the prerogative to ECOWAS?
Can I just say that I think we value the relationship and the partnership we have with ECOWAS, the African Union, MRU, that's the Mano River Union, and we have been signatories to those institutions and organizations for a very long time. But we have nothing new to add from the last visit we had from President Macky Sall and the President of Ghana, who came to Freetown. And so whatever conversations there are, I mean, as we speak, I'm sure through the official platform, that's the Ministry of Information and Civic Education, we would inform the public as to what has transpired. And so it is not a question of whether we're opposed to a conversation with ECOWAS. We've been having conversations with ECOWAS, the African Union, the MIU, on many issues for the longest time. And I'm sure we haven't said that any issue is off the table to have conversations about. And so once those conversations happen and we feel the need to inform the public, we want to be truthful, we want to be accurate, we want to be credible, and we want to be fair. We would inform the public with regards to the details of those conversations as and when they happen.
Imran Mohammed Sila, thank you so much for your engagements on the news.
Thank you.